Hello everyone, I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching 284 Media. Thank you so much for your time. In a matter of days, the territory of the Virgin Islands was rocked with the news of two very prominent Virgin Islanders. That is former Health Minister Carvin Malone along with Mrs. Grace Flax-Waters of Virgin Gorda. Not only were they pivotal persons as a country level, but they were part of the Lions Club of Tortola and Virgin Gorda, serving their communities for quite some time in various capacities. We take this moment here at 284 Media to recognize their life, legacy, and contributions through the Lions Club of Tortola and Virgin Gorda. And with that said, I'm joined by members of the Lions Club of Tortola and Virgin Gorda who are going to help me reflect and showcase their contributions. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. One Stop Auto, located in the R&R Malone complex, Parkwood Pond, is having a huge liquidation sale on all inventory, excluding vehicles and genuine Toyota and Lexus parts. Get no less than 50% off all items on shelves and inventory room. Items such as car covers, steering wheel covers, wipers, sealants, chemicals, emergency cones, adhesives, license plates, frames, air filters, oil filters, front brakes, rear brakes, front rotors, rear rotors, radiators, shocks, and much more. A specific listing of all makes and models for which parts are available at liquidation prices will be posted on our Facebook page.
Start the year off with more. More speed, more downloading, more savings, and more fire. CCT Fire Fiber Internet gives you the speed you need to keep the whole family connected. Packages starting at $119 with speeds from 300 megabytes per second, super fast, unlimited downloads, even more reliable connectivity, plus free live streaming TV for the family to enjoy. Sign up for the absolute best fiber internet service in the BVI, CCT Fire, and pay no installation fee. Plus, get CCT Live TV for free. You deserve more. Get more with CCT. Life Unlimited.
Welcome back everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, I'm joined by members of the Lions Club of Tortola as well as Virgin Gorda, who are today helping me with you reflect on the life, legacy, and contributions of former Health Minister Carvin Malone alongside Mrs. Grace Flax-Waters, Lion Marvin Grant, and Lion Norville Young. Thank you so much for your time and welcome to our platform.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, these two very amazing individuals really essentially serve their territory in different capacities, but we want to focus in on the Lions Club of Tortola and Virgin Gorda. Of course, Norville, you would be from the Lions Club of Virgin Gorda, so I want to start with the lovely and graceful, just like her name reflects, Mrs. Grace Flax-Waters, Lion Grace, as you guys would affectionately call her. What are some of your fondest memories?
Well, Lion Grace was very pivotal in the Lions movement on Virgin Gorda. She was one of the chartered members of the now Valley Sound Lions Club. She actually started with the Virgin Gorda Lioness Club before in '92, where they were able to become Lions Club instead of Lioness Club. She has served in, you can say, basically every position within the club over the tenure that she's been a part of Lions, and she has been, you could call her the matriarch,
okay,
one of the pivotal persons, knowledge-wise, and just one of those individuals that you just love to be around. Her warmth, her spirit, her attitude was always welcoming, and you can always go to her for anything, information-wise, or just to have a little chat about anything, to be honest.
Wonderful. Now, when you of course specify and look at Virgin Gorda, her being a chartered member of the Lions Club of the Valley Sound.
Yeah.
I want to talk specifically about some of the projects that she would have worked on, and of course, over the years, it would be quite a bit. But what might have been some of her favorite projects?
I know one of her favorite projects was actually working with the seniors.
Okay.
That was something dear to her. They try to make sure that the seniors, sometimes we sort of neglect them, but one of her main passions was to ensure that we look after them and take care of them, because they helped to build the country and to build what we have as a community. So that was one of her favorite projects that she loved to work on.
Understood. And Lion Marvin, when you reflect on the legacy of Lion Grace, what are your thoughts?
Well, Ron, I think that when she was named at birth, her name spoke for her. It's just grace. I can say she was gentle, she was gracious. She was respectful and respected. She was adorable, very, very caring, and empathetic. These are all qualities that embodied Lion Grace. I came to know her more when I started serving at the district level, first as zone chair, region chair, and she was always there. One of my biggest supporters, I must say, always encouraging, always complimenting me. You know, she would say to me, Lion Marvin, congratulations, we are indeed proud of you. You know, you have my support, and I did have her support. If ever I did something and I needed guidance, she was always there to gently guide, encourage, mentor, support. So as Lion Norville said, she was the bedrock of Lionism on Virgin Gorda, and that was extended to us also here in the British Virgin Islands. So she was indeed a wonderful soul. I will miss her. I can safely say that in another capacity, she would call on me and she would say, Lion Marvin, I don't want to bother you. And I would say, Lion Grace, you can never ever bother me. Call me at any time. If I don't answer you, I will be certain to return your call as soon as is possible. So I am indeed very, very pleased to have met and worked with Lion Grace in serving these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Wonderful, and thank you both so much for sharing. Now, we go to the one and only former health minister, as we know him, but Lion Carvin, affectionately referred to by you both. I want to interject here that the space between the passing of both individuals was quite close. And I could only imagine the overarching feeling of the Lions Club, both on Tortola and those on Virgin Gorda as well. Lion Marvin, in reflecting on Lion Carvin and his life and legacy, how are the members of the Lions Club doing both on Tortola and Virgin Gorda?
We're still, I'll be honest with you, we're still grappling with the fact that he is gone after getting the news of Lion Grace about 3 o'clock thereafter on Saturday. Saw his postings that sent a wonderful message in condolences to Ingrid and the Valley Song Lions Club. And then on Sunday morning, sadly, I was ignoring my phone. It was blowing up. Then when I finally took it on, I heard Carvin, and I recognized that this particular individual calling me so many times on a Sunday. And from the time I heard the name Carvin, I said, don't tell me something happened. I said, yes, he's dead. That changed the whole feeling ever since. I still get emotional when I talk about it, you know. I'm the type of person who thinks that I am strong, but this one has reminded me that I'm still only human.
Absolutely.
And I know it is the same for all members of the Lions Club of Tortola and the BVI as a whole, because he was not just a lion. He was a community-minded spirit person. He served in several capacities. He was a mentor, he was a friend, he was a counselor. You know, his motto for me was get it done. That was his motto, just get it done. If we have a project to do, he said, let's get it done. You know, if you ask him to do something, he would tell you, consider it done. All right? And then you call back, he would say done. Or send your WhatsApp and it says done, and send evidence of it being done. When you would have done a good job, well done, Lions, well done. You know, so his thing is all about getting it done. He was all action and of great resource to the club. and the community, as is very, very, very evident. I can also recall him asking me to serve on the MPO board, and the call went like this. I couldn't think of a better person to serve in this capacity because they were looking for somebody from the associations, the country associations, and said I couldn't think of a better person to serve. Would you be willing to? I mean, when you're asked in that manner, the only thing you can say is yes. And I said yes, and I have been serving there for the last 3 to 4 years now. I'm very, very grateful. Like him, I too would like to serve as best as I can within these communities. So he has been a guiding force, a supporter, mentor. Again, a giant in his own right. Just as the case with Lion Grace, they're both giants.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
We shall surely miss them dearly.
All right, and Lion Norval, based on your interaction and working closely with Lion Carving, what are some of your fondest memories?
For me, as Lion Marvin says, a giant in his own right, but he was also a fun person to be around. No nonsense, but fun to be around. And whenever we would have events together, critical point of contact, information-wise, fun-wise, and like you say, one that he would say, hey, let's get it done, and we will get it done, and yeah.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, I have to ask you. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, he was also one of the historians within our club. I think he would have had everything done linistically, captured photography, right, in picture. And whenever we needed anything, we call on him, and he would produce hundreds of pictures of almost everything linistically.
That's true.
You know, so that's another feature that we're gonna miss.
I have to ask you both, in continuing the work of Lions, and with every generation comes, of course, a passing of the torch and a continuation. What would you each like up-and-coming members of the Lions Club, if you could choose one attribute from both individuals, what would you like the upcoming members to perhaps take a bite of these two individuals in moving forward and continuing to serve?
Leadership and strong-willed, strong-minded, because I think one of the things that we really lack throughout is leadership. A lot of persons don't like to take up that responsibility to be the leaders of a club, to help to continue the various programs and projects that are there to be done within our community. So I know for those two individuals, leadership was one of their main biggest attributes, and as well as being strong-willed and strong-minded.
Well, Ron, you would recognize that they've both left a huge legacy for us to follow. And I think biggest of from there is their commitment, dedication, and passion. With those three attributes, I think you will be able to, as Lion Norval said, step up into leadership roles. But if persons are not committed and doesn't have that passion, they are always going to try to find somewhere to duck and crawl out of. But we would, as Lion Norval said, we would really love for our members to take a page out of Lion's Carvin book where leadership is concerned, so that we can move this, take this movement forward, all in his memory and in his honor, build on his legacy. That would be my take on my suggestion to our members.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank you both, Lion Norval and Lion Marvin, for sharing your sentiments. And on behalf of my team here at 284 Media, we extend our condolences to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Before you go, I would just, as the past council chair, I would just want to extend on behalf of our current council chair, Line Shibiki Gasbon, and members of the Council of Governors of Multiple District 60, to extend sincere condolences to the families of both Line Grace and Line Carvin, and all their friends, relatives, and members of their respective Lions Club.
All right, wonderful. Well, viewers, as we continue to reflect on the life, legacy, and remarkable contribution of Lion Carvin Malone and Lion Grace Flax-Waters, we are going to be joined by 3 other members of the Lions Club, including the sitting president. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman with yours truly, Ron Grant, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 5, a 284 Media production.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hop. I watching ball. I even watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. We are continuing our tribute to Lion Carvin Malone and Lion Grace Flax-Waters of course, the Tortola Lions Club and Virgin Gorda Valley Sounds in particular. I'm joined by 3 additional amazing persons. They are Lion Daffodil, Lion Heskett, and Lion Kamika. I want to thank you guys so much for your time and welcome back to the platform.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Now, as we saw earlier, your fellow Lion members, Lion Marvin and Norval, really reflected on the contributions of these 2 phenomenal individuals. I want to focus in a little bit on some of the history. And Lion Heskett, I understand that you were the sponsor to Lion Carvin, so I want to begin with you. When you met a young Carvin Malone at that time and sponsored him into the club, what was he like at that time?
Well, he was very enthusiastic in other things he was doing on the basketball court and in the community activists and so on. And I thought then that the Lions Club could do with someone of that kind of personality and caliber and so forth. So I spoke with him. We had actually had relationships because being a contractor, his father had a lumber yard and he was there, so we got acquainted there. And he was very much interested when I told him about Lionism and the work that we're doing. And I says, okay, fine, you can come to one of our general meetings. And before I had time to give him a preferred meeting, he showed up at the Lions Den, because he knew most of the Lions Den, you know, Paul Watley, deceased, and those guys there. So he showed up and he was in from the beginning. So we just got him inducted and we got him, you know, right in there and he started to work. And I'm so happy I'm the proud sponsor of him and the work that he done in the community. He was sponsored in May 1st, 1987.
Wow.
So that took him up to 37 years to his departure then, which was 37 real active and vibrant years he served this community. And there's a long list of projects that he done that we done together in a club, and also on district level and region and so on. So he's very, very active, and he was very dedicated and passionate about Lionism, and particularly the youths. The Leo Club was one of the clubs that had been
Happy you mentioned that.
wavering a bit, and he took a hold of that, took the helm. And then we also got the Alpha Leo Club, which was something that we pondered on for some while, and Carvin took the baton and he ran with it, and we got the Alpha Leo Club going. So, and he was a very good strategist, you know. He would sit down and plan these projects, and the execution of it would just go really smooth. You know, he'd say, well, Newton, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that, and so forth. I'll speak about some of the other larger projects, but I'll give you a chance to look at
the lovely ladies that are joining us. Lion Daffodil, I want to spend some time, and from your vantage point as president at this time, but you would have worked closely with both individuals as well. Tell us your sentiments.
My experience was mostly with Lion Carvin. In July of 23, I was inducted as president, and following induction morning, he was one of the first person that actually called me. And he has this way of saying, Lion President, congratulations. And every phone call would start that way. Lion President, how are you doing? He was always supportive. I remember our senior field trip project. He actually, on induction night, having heard the speech and realized that our focus is actually this year is on serving our legacy, shaping our future, he actually brought the seniors field trip project to me. And he is very passionate about this golden gem.
Yes.
The seniors in Bruceby and Caribbean East and even throughout the territory. And he organized, got the sponsorships, and organized with the team lead and social development to have 115 seniors from our community travel to Just Van Dyke and also to Anegada on 2 different days to have a fun day where they can interact with each other, sing and play games, because he was so passionate and making sure that they had a quality of life and that our foundation is looked after and they know that we still care. So that was one of the first projects we executed in July of 23 when we started the Lion Year, and that project was actually, he was a project lead. From start to finish, it was his idea. He did all of the work behind it. Now, it's important for the BVI community to understand that Lion Carvin actively served as a member of our club and as a Lion and as a community-minded person up to the time that he left us. He served on our committees, he ran projects, he sat with other Lions on projects and helped guide them, steer them, whatever they needed. He was a member of my advisory team, so when there's an issue or if you need to run something by someone, Lion Carvin, he always made the time. He never made you feel like if you're imposing, and he always did what needed to be done. He actually, his favorite, one of his favorite sayings, let's get it done. Let's get it done, Lion President. Let's get it done.
Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you for that. Lion Heskett, you so eloquently mentioned about the Leo Club. Yeah. And Lion Kamika, I want to touch there because if I'm not mistaken, based on the research and discussions we've had, you would have been a part of that cohort of the Leo at the time. So tell us about that.
Yes, and it's interesting because Leos are now reflecting on what Lion Carvin would have meant to them, meant to the movement, and the impact that he would have had in their lives. And it was about maybe around 2004, 2005 when I just returned from school, and Lion Carvin had decided that it was time for us to revamp and re-energize and re-inject just new life into the Leo Club of Tortola. And he went out and he scouted a bunch of young persons in the BVI community, as
including yourself.
Well, the thing is, and that's the thing, you know, with Lion Carvin, you always didn't know exactly what you were getting into, but you were going. So he didn't come to me directly. He has a way of putting people to work, and he ensured that his recruits could recruit. So I was a recruit of a recruit, and he was my first Leo advisor into the Leo Club, and he remained with me, I guess, until the day he would have passed on. I mean, always supportive, always willing to to try to ensure that everybody was well taken care of. I remember even when I sat as president last year, we had different initiatives that were not quite going as we hoped they would. And Lion Carvin said, what do you mean? What do you mean? Leave it to me. And that was it. Or he would have an idea or a project and he'd say, like Lion Daffodil, Lion President mentioned, he called, Lion President, so this is what is happening. I need this done. And you did. Lion Carvin moved mountains. Yes. There's nobody else that I have met with that level of gravitas, that level of magnetic energy. He was a force. And it's interesting and very heartbreaking that we would have lost two similar forces, because while I haven't solved closely with Lion Grace, I knew very, very, very well who Lion Grace was before I met her. Yes. And I think I met her probably during when I served as president, when I went over to VJ. I met her in person for the first time as Lion Grace. And I fell in love. I'm going to be honest. Lion Grace is, and so whenever I even passed through Virgin God, what happened this year? I said, Lion Grace. She's like, oh, Lion President. And she was always so wonderful. And I said that it's such a huge loss for both our clubs, yes, for the Virgin Islands community. But truly, Lion Carvin is one person who's always been passionate and invested in the youth. And he understood. He was a visionary. That's why he was so focused on ensuring that our future would be secure. So that's why I think his love for the youth and their development continued until, sadly he's...
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Lion Heskett, I want to delve into really quickly some of the projects that he would have participated in, some of his major contributions as project manager and project lead.
Yeah, so continuing the youths, one of the most significant club projects that Lion Carvin embarked on was the Lions International Quest program. The program strategy is to strengthen key social and personal skills to prevent harmful behavior and encourage self-awareness and self-efficacy so children and young people can make positive decisions. To that end, 10 primary school teachers have been trained, was trained rather, here in Tortola to deliver the program in the primary schools. And Lion Carvin spearheaded that and got it to that level, which is today it's one of the projects that Lions International do internationally as a youth program. And he also basically history. So another significant project was the Heritage Village project at the HLCC Community College. He was the project lead, and to establish history, like the old sugar mills, yes, and the cane, the rum making and all that kind of stuff, which is something of the past. So we wanted to get that branch back at the community college. And to that end, we single-handedly, with the help of Lions, the community, and everyone pitching in, we raised $25,000 for that project.
Wonderful.
$25,000. And so there's a long list of projects. The public restroom here at the Noel Light Park, when it goes to the bank, there had already been a situation when we get into the area, you had to run for a restroom because it was so far away. And Lion Carvin decided, look, we need to put a restroom in that area for the public. And we sat in meetings with the premier at that time, many meetings, and he got that project going. I think it was about $300,000 we had to raise to get that project completed.
But you got it done.
And we got it completed, we got it done, we got a lot of sponsors, all the businesses and so forth. And we got it done. It took us about probably a year or so, because something like that, you have to grind the wheel,
procedures, yeah.
And you meet a lot of roadblocks here and there, and you got to remove those and so on. But Carvin was very passionate. When Carvin has a passion for something, yes, he's not going to leave it. Yes. He would call me in the middle and he'd say, Lion Newton, I just thought about something. I say, yes, I'm awake, let's discuss it. And we discuss it and we have the strategy. And that's the kind of person, that Lion Carvin was. And this is one of the reasons why I sort of figured that he was a good person to get into the Lions Club at that time, because we was there, and a lot of the members had served 1 or 2 terms as president and so forth. So the club needed to be re-energized. Mm-hmm. And Carvin came in. It wasn't very long before he was vice president. He served as treasurer, director, chairman of projects, vice president, and he in fact just took the lead, and he even got the prestigious Melvin Jones Fellow Award, which is the highest award, and then he came on again, and he elevated that true progression in humanitarianism. Then he became the PMF Progressive Melvin Jones Fellow. So his level there was a Progressive Melvin Jones Fellow, which is throughout the district, they are very, very, because the humanitarian significance to meet that level is quite, is quite a task.
Indeed.
It's quite a task and so forth, and he met that level. So again, there is another project which he brought into the community, which is a memorandum of understanding with the Rotary and the Tortola clubs to collaborate on joint community projects. Because sometimes a project is like not out of scope, but the resources are not really in one place. The Lions don't have all the resources, so some of the resources will come from Rotary and some of the resources from Lions. And Carvin thought out that we'll have a memorandum of understanding that we'll be crossing paths.
We'll be working together.
So we unite, and unity builds strength.
I'm happy that you mentioned that, because one of my fondest memories of Lion Carvin would be his visits to our various Rotary clubs, and one particular, we had an installation, and of course we acknowledged him, and he took the time to this loud. And at the time, I said, I was Sergeant at Arms at the time, and I fined him for making a set of noise in the meeting. And later on, he said, ain't no set of noise, it's a roar. All right? So he took the opportunity to roar when he was, granted an opportunity to stand and be recognized.
Yes.
So I do hope that the members of the Lion Club will continue to roar in the honor of the late Carvin Malone and Lion Grace Flax-Waters. Before we go, I want to, and it might be a bit too early, and if it is, that's fine, but what would you consider in remembering these two individuals? I hope that something may be in the works at some point for us to have them engraved at some point with the Lions Club, just so persons could not forget and will not forget the contributions of these both individuals. Any thoughts on that, Madam President?
Yes. We are actively in discussions about how we can ensure that their memory there's a physical presence of their memory. It is early. We are still trying to understand and trying to accept the loss. They were two very loved and respected persons, and we're trying to work our way through accepting and also pulling together all of our data and ensuring that we memorialize them in the true honor that they should be. In the coming weeks, we will have something finalized, and of course, we'll share with you, Ron, your friend of Lions.
No problem at all.
Okay.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for sharing and making the time. And just like I mentioned to the two Lions, Lion Marvin and Lion Norville, allow me to extend on behalf of my team here condolences to yourselves and the other members of the Lions Club.
And Ron, before we go, I would like to extend condolences on behalf of our district governor, Lion Dr. Carla Goddard, PMJF, of Subdistrict 60B, to the families, friends, and certainly our clubs of Lion Grace and Lion Carvin Malone. The news of their passing did definitely take us for a bit of a loop. We are all recovering, we are mourning, but certainly Lion District Governor wanted me to extend his deepest sympathies to the families and let you know that his heart is with you, his prayers are with you, and we will ensure that their legacies are honored.
Wonderful. And Lion Heskett, you had something to add?
Yes, I'd just like to say, even though we mourn the loss of this intangible loss, we also celebrate the legacy of the service of this extraordinary humanitarian person. He's a friend, a mentor, a lion, and in all respects, he's just an intangible loss to us. But as time would have it and so forth, these things do happen, and we just got to rise above it, and we will find comfort in his legacy.
Thank you so much for your wisdom. Viewers, it was a pleasure for me to sit with members of the Lions Club of Tortola as well as in Virgin Gorda in reflection and paying homage to the life and legacy of Lion Carvin Malone and Lion Grace Flax-Waters, whom we are going to make sure that their contributions and legacy continues to impact and be remembered throughout the Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant. I want to thank you for your time. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye.